I don't wear heels, thankfully. Sarah's got different issues when she does it, so. Okay, so we got the recording started, so just for the notes, the meeting is starting at 5:03. I'll do a quick roll call of who we have here. Trustee Maher, John Kraus,
Yeah, correct.
Janet Hurdig, Timothy Kenny,
Present.
Rachel Ellerman, Therese Klein,
Here.
Leonard Sobchak, and Jake Brissett. So we've got three of the members here. Trustee Maher called to let me know he was not attending. The other ones I do believe still might be piling in shortly. So that covers our roll call. In terms of agenda item 3, this meeting has been publicly noticed, so the public has been invited to attend if they so choose. As of now, it's just us in the room. So with that, I can turn it over to you, Phil, and team for a review of the town hall and focus group summaries memos that was provided last week. I believe that's the main item that we're here to go over, so if you just wanna.
And just to emphasize, we have an agenda, a 4-point agenda that we're gonna try to stick to today in the time that's allotted. We're gonna review the town hall focus group summary memo. We're gonna give a status update on the draft work that's being done. Give an update on schedule, and then any additional questions, comments that remain, we'll have an open discussion. But also, as before, questions were presented as we were going through the material, and we can take that position on this call. I just want to make sure that everybody has a chance to voice their thoughts, concerns, questions in the allotted time. So if we get on a rabbit trail, I may direct it back and follow up in more detail at another time off the call. All right, well, our team is up.
We did have one, Jake Brissett from the bid is now here, so we have another member.
Great. Okay. Fantastic. So if everybody has had a chance, hopefully, to at least go through and understand what has occurred as far as community engagement since we last met. We have had Town Hall Meeting 2, Town Hall Meeting 3, as well as focus group meetings with various interest groups. We've talked to, it was on the 15th of August, we have transportation and mobility staff, police department, Department of Public Works, parking staff, customer service. We've spoke with community members about specific areas of Oakland and Capitol, residents, residential groups, renters, as well as single-family home owners, and then also the school district principals. We spent time with the 4 individuals that see parking in front of their school and after school and before on a daily basis, and shed some good information on how to improve that. So we'll go through this document now. And just to state, and I thought this would be good for the group, the community shapes recommendations. This wasn't a voting mechanism by meeting with them and talking to them. It was really to help understand what the community needs are and what their concerns are, so we could focus on improving those areas, as opposed to doing a large study that is an inch deep. We wanted to focus on areas where we're looking for some immediate improvement and meaningful improvement that is sustainable. So the comments and questions, that are in this document don't represent our opinions or recommendations, simply our documentation of what the community members have shared with us. Going to let's just start on page 2, the topic, Town Hall topic areas and summary. Key takeaways, when you ask the question, what opportunities exist to improve parking access on Oakland Avenue? And snow storage from the winter time that is consumed a valuable parking supply. The question was brought up, are there other locations where snow can be stored? And speaking with village staff, we know this topic has been brought up before, where they're located. There are environmental concerns, there are just spatial, requirements. They need to be able to store it access, vehicular access in other areas. So right now in one of the village parking lots, that's where snow has been stored, and monthly parkers who are paying to park there have voiced the concerns that it'd be nice to have that relocated. Enforcement of public lots, increased turnover, and provide safety. Enforcement is a theme that you'll hear on this call. Many community members said it isn't necessarily that our policies or our ordinances are radically off. Maybe they just need to be enforced more rigorously. So, that was something that, we took to heart. And, when we looked at the policies, we agree there are some that, don't need to be changed. There's just needs to be an adjustment to how parking enforcement is administered. Pricing for overnight parking, there was a perception that it was high relatively speaking, compared to nearby communities. $50 and $75 per month for a permit to park overnight in a village parking lot. And there's different access provisions based on that pricing scale. And enforcement of recreational leagues that use the lot, families with children, many of them are from neighboring communities. There was a request that enforcement could be lenient. So simultaneously, we heard that enforcement needs to be increased, but then also for certain times, there's some allowances. The intersection of Oakland and Kensington has limited parking. Wayfinding signs for the public parking need to be improved. And once again, snow clearance for more parking in the wintertime, needs to be evaluated to identify alternatives. Improve parking signage along Oakland Avenue is the next topic. What ways could be what could be implemented? What ways could the village improve how they communicate parking options along Oakland Avenue? Many felt that the signs were unclear and inconsistent, and living in a community sometimes is to where you're going, so you're not focused on the signs. But if you put on the glasses of a visitor, or somebody who is an infrequent visitor to the CD, or even to residential in the neighborhood, and if you look at the sign, you see a lot of information being presented, and it does differ from areas, from zones within the village, size of streets. So we did take that into consideration, and we do have recommendations for signage improvement. They would like to see lights around the stop signs where pedestrian crosswalks are located. That would improve pedestrian safety or awareness, as well as motorists driving their awareness. It feels there's a little bit of a glide through on those stop signs at times, and that needs to be addressed. And if the enforcement can't be present all the time to monitor that, they want to take some more passive, but yet proactive measures by improving the visibility of the stop signs. And then we have the village website. Now, not many residents get on the website regularly to see what the parking requirements are, or parking policies, parking options. But for those who are new to the community or visiting the community, landowners that rent, that are sharing information about the community with the potential tenants, it's good to have a website that includes a thorough understanding of policies and procedures. So there is information on the website, but we believe there are opportunities for improvement, and the community voiced that, and so that was documented. Number three,
Phil,
effective. Yes.
Phil, can I stop here? So I think in terms of your previous comment of wanting to keep things moving along at high level, I think your memo has actually been very great at summarizing most of this, and I get the impression that the advisory group has read most of them, if not all of it. So not to diminish what you're sharing, but I think you could go higher level on some of these perhaps and just summarize and perhaps ask if there's any clarification questions. But yeah, I think that we all have appreciated the memo, and I don't think we need to go through all 7 pages with such detail. So not to cut you off.
I'm being cautious.
No, we appreciate that. Not to cut you off, but I just want to let you know you could higher would be fine.
No, that saves me. That absolutely. I appreciate you sharing that.
Perfect.
So yeah, looking over this. How about I do this? If everybody's familiar, we can just I'll list the topic. Capitol Drive is the next area. And any comments or questions from the TAG committee, the members, we can focus on what's important or, in question.
So Phil,
You guys want to do that?
Phil, this is Tim Kenny representing the schools, particularly Shorewood High School.
Great.
I was at a school board meeting last night, engaged in conversation about the Shorewood High School parking lot. And there is, you have a bulleted item in here that says verify the status of the referendum to reconfigure lot. Our engineers are looking at a number of different possible reconfigurations, but the best one is going to add probably 4 additional spots. That's about it. We're pretty landlocked. That'd be 4 that'd be 4 additional unassigned spots. We are going to add additional handicap spots, but that's because that's the right thing to do. So that's not really going to change the fact that the parking lot's going to continue to be a challenge at the high school. And so then, as I was reading through the memo, in terms of restricted and unrestricted street parking during the day, the areas around the high school, I can't remember exactly the streets, but I believe it's Newhall moving west, those are unrestricted, and then over behind the intermediate school, those are unrestricted parking locations also. Those, if people could just take a look at the side streets east of Oakland Avenue, Beverly, Newton, those to possibly just take a look and weigh in on those are restricted parking areas, 2-hour parking. I am simply sharing that on behalf of the students of Shorewood High School. Who a lot of them do need to drive, and I'm not talking about the kids who live in Shorewood. We serve a lot of kids who live outside of Shorewood and do need to travel a distance to get here. We try to accommodate as many students as possible. We can't get 100% of them.
So the lot's getting full.
Yeah, it's really limited.
It's full with your staff alone, as I understand. They're just about.
Yeah, from a statistical standpoint, we've got 142 spots that are unassigned, so not handicapped or not designated for maintenance or something like that, of which 128 are taken up by staff.
Yeah.
On any given day, it's fluid.
Yeah.
And we have 8 students who need accommodations, they need to be able to park there, etc. That starts to get outside of as I can give you that whole report some other time. It's pretty frustrating.
Is there any opportunity for that behind the tennis courts, like in that area?
It is already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But that's not as desirable as Beverly and
For sure.
Oakland.
Yep.
And so I'm just simply saying, if the recommendation comes back to stay as is, fine. I just am sharing that feedback, so if you could add that to.
Sure. And we're looking at those durations. Those durations, vary all around
Correct.
the village. And so if you look historically, why some are 15 minutes, why some are 4 hours, why some are unrestricted, at one point in time there was a logical reason, but a village is a evolving entity, and so the demand has probably increased over the years as opposed to 10, 15, 20 years ago. So looking at those policies is something they're definitely doing, and we're putting together recommendations, trying to simplify, but also this is an asset that's not going anywhere, as opposed to maybe a business that may turn over or has greater likelihood to turn over. The school is going to remain. So
Right.
putting in a sustainable policy for on-street parking that will help is something we're looking at. Because we know that space, space requirements, as far as building a garage, there are temporary structures that can be built, and they're, roughly, about a third of the cost of building a concrete structure. Some clients are looking at those now, just as temporary solutions to double their surface parking lot. But, building a structured parking at $20,000 a space plus probably isn't within the school district budget.
That's a safe, Phil, yes. So underneath that specifically, I guess I'd like to see, changing you can consider the status of the referendum to reconfigure, regardless of how that lands. It's really not gonna shift anything. So I'd say that then, speaking on behalf of the students, I'd say that any recommendation to restrict parking further around the school would not be one that the students would be in favor of. Regardless which way it goes, I just kind of want to share that as the input.
Sure.
Okay?
And students are currently parking in those areas, even though they're 2 hours, correct?
I don't know. We were trying to get them to park in the unrestricted areas so they don't get tickets.
Okay. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
we're gonna work on
Okay.
that.
Great.
Right there.
No, that's noted, definitely. So we're looking, it's a net gain of 4 spaces, but really it's essentially a net neutral change. You're reconfiguring the lot,
Essentially,
but not gaining a material amount of supply.
I have a
All right.
question, hey, this is Teresa, I have just a question on the process, Phil. We had these town hall meetings, you noted the number of attendees at the meetings. People were also submitting things online. Did you have a
Correct.
count of that to show our community engagement?
We do.
And then the second part of
Let
my
me,
question is this typical? Did we get enough input? How's our process check here?
that's a good question. We had 100